Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome to our workshop today on Pickatale from reader to creator. That's the theme for our workshop for today. My name is Muhammad Ilmi bin Ismail. I'll be your moderator for the session, along with my partner, Mr. Kit Tong, the director of UBSM. Hi, Kit.
Hi, everyone.
So we are thrilled to have everyone here with us, joining us. And I believe among the participants are the highly immersive program coordinators from schools. And we also have English teachers and primary and secondary English teachers. And also we invited education officers joining us for today's session. And we'll be evaluating whether this program is suitable to be carried out nationwide in the future. So Johor have taken the first big step to have this Pickatale platform to be introduced to schools, and hopefully we can have more people and schools on board for the program. Okay, before I begin, a little bit of housekeeping. For audio and video, all participants will be muted during the session, but feel free to on your mic if you have any question to ask. We don't have to wait until Q&A session. Just feel free to raise your hand, or you can have your question posted in the message box. Okay, I will go through the messages, and any question from there we will go during the session. And Kit will handle the live session if you want to ask yourself through what we call you want to ask in person, so that we all can hear your questions. Those who are a bit shy, you can ask through the messages. Okay, all right. And then if you experience any technical issues, please let us know through the chat, and we have a support team to help you accordingly. And don't worry, this session are recorded. We will share the recording version of it through your email, because later, before we go, we will provide you a Google form for you to fill up, and also the attendance. It will come together. So we will send your emails. We email you the recording session maybe in a few days' time. Okay? So any materials that you need, please let us know so that we can arrange and share with you accordingly. Okay, so before we start, I would like to introduce our speakers for today. We are incredibly fortunate to have Mr. Alistair Cameron. Hi, Mr. Alistair. So, who is the director of Pickatale UK, and with 15 years experience as teacher trainer and also digital consultant. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's all good. Thank you.
Yes. So now he's leading the commercial team in Pickatale, and to give support to schools in embracing AI in reading and also literacy. So hi to Mr. Alistair. And also we have Ivan, the digital engineer from UBSM, University Bookstore Malaysia. He also will share a hands-on session with us today throughout the workshop. Hi, Ivan.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so without further ado, I would like to let us hear a welcoming note from Mr. Muhammad Ermi bin Muhammad Kasa, Assistant Director, Learning Sector, Johor State Education Department. And maybe later in the session, when I receive a video message from Puan Farah Mardi, the Director of English Language Teaching Center, Ministry of Education. And but now I please welcome Mr. Ermi to give a welcoming speech. Welcome, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, and a very good day to all of you. I would like to congratulate the team, Mr. Helmi and the team, especially our strategic partner for today from Pickatale, the United Kingdom, and University Bookstore Malaysia, for allowing us to collaborate in this very fruitful session. And Johor has taken the very first step in Malaysia to conduct this kind of HIP program. So HIP is not just business as usual, but we try to maximize the HIP to the maximum level to immerse English environment in not just in Johor but in Malaysia. So again, I feel so ecstatic to see all the participants from all over Johor and to see the very expert speakers from the UK, from the UBSM to share kind of fruitful knowledge for all the teachers in Johor to share with all the teachers in school. Yeah, so again, please enjoy the session. Please bring the good thing and share with all the kids in the schools. So enjoy the session, and if you have any questions to ask, please do so. Don't feel hesitant to ask question from the very good speakers. I think if we have more response, good feedback from all the teachers, will bring to physical session instead of online session. Inshallah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ermi, for very inspiring remarks. And I love to hear that this is will be a continuity of the program if it's taken positively by the participants, and maybe we can bring this throughout Johor for those who are unable to join us today. Okay, face to face, of course, it will be more interesting, it will be more hands-on, it will be more live, and easy for us to communicate. But to have a big crowd like this, of course, Google Meet is the best platform for us. Okay, without any more delay, I would like to invite Mr. Kitong, the director of UBSM, to continue with the session, and we'll see you from there. Over to you, Mr. Kit.
Okay, very good afternoon, and thank you, Tuan Hilmi. Thank you for all the organizing. We are very happy to share, and I'm very glad that my team from the UK as well will be joining. Now, a little bit of an introduction. Actually, Pickatale have actually been to Malaysia several times. In fact, during the KL Book Fair, we actually shared Pickatale to about 3,000 teacher librarians from all over Malaysia in the Putra World Trade Center. And then we have shared a bit with the BSTP as well. And then ELTC also is actually supporting us, and they're very happy that we are doing this. And reading English is something that is very trending at the present moment because of globalization and global competition, as well as getting our kids to be on the world stage to compete globally. Because the thing is that there's a lot of potential out there, there's a lot of revenue out there, there's a lot of earning that we can earn from all over the world, and we want to equip our students to be very AI savvy as well. All right, so a little bit of introduction. Today we'll get Pickatale Alistair to share about how Pickatale works, and especially to onboard all those teachers who have attended our Tu Naminas workshop. They will be starting, and later on this program, for any one of you who are interested from other schools, we are happy for you to join a competition on creativity, where you will actually have the opportunity to guide your students to create rather than just be reader. You want to be the character in the book, you want to be participant in the book, you want the book to come alive, and you'll be part of it as well. That makes a lot of difference. Now, a little bit about Pickatale. I think last year they were ranked about 200,000 in terms of education technology companies. But this year, because of the innovation, the disruptive kind of new discovery as such like that, they are actually officially ranked number 20 in the world. From ranking 200,000 to top 20 in the world is really an amazing effect. And we'd like to know more about how you guys did it, and how special you are, and what is a unique selling point or unique proposition that have launched you from ranking 200,000 to top 20. That is really, really amazing. All right, so this session is not about me. I will actually be happy to hand over the session to Alistair to share, and Ivan can actually chip in if we can add any additional notes to whatever Alistair is sharing. So enjoy yourselves and just have a fantastic afternoon. Over to you, Alistair.
Thank you very much, Keith. And just to your point, Keith, I think it's important to mention that what you were talking about there in terms of money, I think it's important to note that children these days, and this is the reason why I love doing what I'm doing about bringing technology to educators. It's important to note that children stand the greatest chance in life with success through English and technology, because it broadens their horizons so vastly that just using technology, practicing using technology, practicing their immersion in English will present so many opportunities for them on the global stage. Pickatale as a company is based in the UK, but 50% of our staff who work for us are based all over the world. And that's because we choose the best people that use the best technology around the world. Doesn't matter where they come from at all in their geographic location. But we use the best people that we can possibly manage to invite to come and work in our company, to develop our software and our technology and work on the books and create new books as well. Because they've got worldly experience, because they've got a good grasp of English language. So it's a good thing to take back to your students, to elevate the importance of learning to read and for reading to learn. I'm going to just share my screen, and I think the easiest thing for me to do is just share my screen like this, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Keith, can you just let me know that this is sharing okay?
Yep, perfect.
Fabulous. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time in PowerPoint. I'm going to spend 99% of my time actually showing you the products. The reason why you're here today is for me to show you what Pickatale is, how it works, but most importantly, how you, dear teachers, everybody here, can use Pickatale in everyday life with students either at home or during school. Pickatale, as was just mentioned, we're really lucky that we were awarded that top 20 global edtech recognition from Time magazine. So we've grown a lot in the last 12 months, which is fabulous to be recognized with. I just wanted to explain a little bit about what we do and how we work, so that you know what we're kind of trying to achieve. We are a technology company. We're completely focused rather on ensuring children are able to read, from non-readers all the way through to proficient readers as well. We have thousands of books inside our Pickatale app. And we have a version for teachers and a version for students. The version for students, so when a student is inside Pickatale, they can use Pickatale to read and explore our library and read for pleasure. But as teachers, we can use Pickatale in order to share books with students, encourage them to read widely, point books at children so that we can recommend books for them. And most importantly, we can create our own books to share with those students too. And that's the one thing that I really wanted to share with you today, was how you can create your own books using AI to share with students. On top of that, and this is really going to be very useful for you, you will be able to track your students' progress in reading. You'll be able to see how long each of your children have been reading for, the rate of progress that your students are making with their reading, and have an opportunity to have a conversation, a constructive dialogue with individual students about a book that they have been reading, whether they've been reading it at home or in the classroom. With Pickatale, in our thousands of books, we have curriculum aligned content. We are in the process of just completing our curriculum alignment for primary for the Malaysian curriculum. So you will be able to find content inside Pickatale that meets your needs for teaching in the classroom to support key topics. We have, further to that, built in assessment for books. It's not a forced assessment, it's an opportunity for assessment. So when a student reads a book, and we'll look at this shortly, when a student reads a book in Pickatale, they will be able to answer quizzes. The questions in the quiz will give you a really deep dive understanding of their level of comprehension in a variety of ways. And I'll touch more on the exciting opportunities for tracking reading progress. But let's get to the heart of the issue and go into Pickatale. And I want to start right from the very beginning and show you how to log on to Pickatale. Okay, I'm in Pickatale right now. In order to go to Pickatale and find Pickatale, you've got two ways of doing it. Right, dear teachers, you can do this at the same time as me if you would like, but I would encourage you to try this and wait patiently so that you can do this afterwards. There's two ways you can log on to Pickatale. You can log on an internet browser anywhere, whether it's Chrome, Safari, or any other internet browser. I keep forgetting all the different types that are out there. You can log on via the web, or you can log on a phone. There is an app both in Android and App Store for teachers and students to use. However, the real power of Pickatale for a teacher is logging on via the web. So logging onto the website for Pickatale is better for teachers because you'll see more detailed statistics, more detailed data about what your students in class are actually doing. For children, the app works brilliantly. There's some gamification of learning. They're encouraged to read. They get stars for reading. And it's a really nice way for children to just easily access reading within the app. And if the children are using a device of a parent, they can easily switch between children if there's more than one child in the family that is reading on Pickatale, and they will still be able to have all of their reading progress tracked. So you can see what book they've read, how long they've been reading for, and you'll also see a lot more information too. But first, before I dive into the actual library of books, which is starting to show me here, you will need a username and password to use Pickatale. Ivan is here on the call with me today. I can't see anybody at the moment, so hopefully Ivan's waving frantically. And Ivan will be sending out, if anybody hasn't yet completed the form to fill in, to get their own teacher access to Pickatale, then what you need to do is make sure that you get that from Ivan. Ivan will just give you a short form to fill in. It's only sort of 5 or 6 things that we need: name, school, email address, etc., so that we can set you up with your own username and password for Pickatale, and then you have instant access to thousands of books. Dear teachers, it's very important that you keep that username and password private to you yourself, and we then create student accounts so that students can log on and we can start tracking their reading progress too. And so you can start tracking their reading progress too. Sorry, always talking like a teacher. And we will set up your student accounts and we will provide you with the logons. They're really simple logons. Each child will get their own logon, so that this is a personal reading platform, meaning that each individual student has their own logon. username and password, and that means that we can record each individual student's own reading progress. If there's any questions around that, please do ask on the chat. Ivan will be able to help you. I'm logged on as a teacher.
Just one thing, just FYI, that form will be sent at the end of the presentation. So stick around and I'll put it in the chat at the end. Thank you.
Thanks, Ivan. Much appreciated. I'm logged on as a teacher. So when you log on, you'll see something very, very similar to this. Before I dive into the books themselves, I just wanted to point out how the books work. You'll see that there are numbers against some of the books on the page. Well, all of the books will have a number here. That is reading stages, Pickatale reading stages. Our books are set up so that from 0 to 6 or 6 plus, they're organized by difficulty. So 0 being aimed at beginning readers, emerging readers, level 1, and so on and so forth. The aim is that we enable students to identify books by the number, as well as teachers to be able to identify the numbers. And you'll also see here a quick correlation of if you're familiar with things like book bands or Oxford reading levels or Fontes and Purnell and CEFR, which I think is probably more familiar to a lot of you. The correlation chart is there. We will provide more detail about that in the pack that I'm going to talk about just at the end of this session. Ivan, do feel, because I can't see you at the moment, and if there's a burning question that needs answering, please do just feel free to chip in.
Alistair, we have one question from our participants. It's wondering whether is it the same as Epic? Have you heard about Epic?
Yes. Okay, so Epic is a similar kind of concept, I guess. Yes, Epic is just the same as what Pickatale does, and has a very similar kind of format. You know, you can pick up a book and read it. Children can quite often get lost in Epic. There's lots of different variations of programs like this, but yeah, good point. If that makes it easier for people to understand. Yeah, we're a very similar kind of solution to Epic.
All right,
of course,
thanks.
We'd like to think of ourselves as a more affordable solution, a more suitable solution for the international market, and a more comprehensive, aligned solution for schools in Malaysia. And here you go, just as a quick reminder here. So from the CEFR leveling system, you're looking at basic users pick a stage 0 all the way through to proficiency in reading at stage 6. But we have a proper document that shares all the details of alignment in the platform for all of the books as well. Okay, right. I can search inside Pickatale as a teacher for any books I wish. If I go onto the search field, I've already begun one particular search, so I shall just remove that search. I can search anything I want. I can search for English language books, English US language books. I can click on particular stages, and I can show books with quizzes or without quizzes. So that means I'll be able to find books, and as a teacher, so this is looking at any particular book I find, I can then find that book, and I can either read it quickly, just by looking at the blurb on this page, and I can either have a proper deep dive read straight away as a teacher, or I can go and assign it to students. More on that in a minute. One of the things that we're really proud of here is our ability to adapt to the needs of any country that we work with. So we have this library of book categories that we can click on if we want to find animal books, for example. We can just tick on animals, or if we just want to look at nature and wildlife, we can just find books by doing so. But what I'm saying about working with international different countries around the world is if we see that there are different categories that are missing that teachers in particular countries around the world would like to see, then we can always add those in there really quickly, and we can add that genre or category so that we can get children reading. A lot of books are at you find the same book at different levels. Now I'm going to look at an example here. If I just search for Eliot, for example, I'm going to just bring up some books. Oops. I need to log in again. Let's just log back in. What has happened to my login? Oh, here we go. Right. I'm sorry about this. There we go. Right. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Are yours? You are. Okay, good. I was
Yes,
wondering
we
whether
can.
I just lost internet connection there for a second. Okay, so talking about pick a stage books, what you'll see here is that if I've just searched for a particular book, I wanted to search for a book called Eliot and the Wandering Forest, because this is a great example of books inside Pickatale that have a particular reading stage. You've got Eliot and the Wandering Forest, which is at stage 1, and then you've got the same book at stage 2 and the same book at stage 3. If I just open this in turn, you'll see the difference of these books. So here I've opened the book, and because I'm in the book at stage 1, the text has less complexity, same artwork, same story as the other levels, but there's a lesser text complexity here where I can go page by page and see the beautiful pictures and read the book. I'm going to press play here. The story will read itself to you.
Oh, we
But I
can't
have
hear
a
the
feeling
audio now.
you can't hear my audio because I'm not sharing the tab. Unfortunately, Google is a bit funny like that. But I'm hearing this work being read to me by a real actor audio. But if I go to, for example, pick a stage level 3, you'll see then that there is much greater text complexity. It's really hard to talk when somebody's talking at you. Far greater text complexity and a greater use of new language. It introduces greater vocabulary and allows a lot more opportunity for the older reader to still read the same story, but at a higher reading level. By the way, in a classroom, if you do have the use of a projector, it's often a good opportunity to put these words on the screen. And if you want to focus just on the words on the page, rather than getting children lost in the imagination of the forest, for example, we can switch just out to the text only version as well. So in that way, you can reduce the distraction, focus on particular words, and perhaps encourage greater class participation of reading aloud in the class together as a reading activity. And I can just toggle back with the button at the top right-hand corner of the page. Now, if I fast forward through the book, you see all the beautiful pages of this particular book. I'm coming to the end of the book now. Because it's a platform that enables children to have their reading progress tracked, we've also put in this ability to rate children's books. So a child could say whether I liked it or didn't like it at the moment. We're working on that, and we think we might have some other options for children to say what they thought about the book. But at the moment, once you've given a thumbs up, it does allow you to write a review. Now, this is really important. I fully recognize that the NELAM system is there for children to write their reviews. However, we're just a technology company that has great content and work with publishing houses all over the world. What we can do in the future, if it would be deemed right and appropriate for the powers that be at the Department for Education, we could easily take the reviews from here, where children have been reading an immersive book, and have it automatically added to the NELAM system, so that the recording of the students' reviews could be done here. And we could even do it so that it was impossible for children to maybe copy and paste from, I don't know, another website review. So they would have to write their review in here manually by hand, and then complete the activity. So once I've written my review, and by the way, dear teachers, you'll all be able to see the children's reviews inside Pickatale at all times, so you'll be able to go and do that. We'll look at that in a second. And you'll also notice that the children can then take a quiz. They don't have to, it's not forced, but if you can encourage your children to take a quiz, this gives them an opportunity to perhaps participate in a competition in the class, and also be proving their level of understanding. So here, I've got the quiz about Eliot and the Wandering Forest. So here, I can prove that I've not just read that book and I've just skimmed through it. Here, why didn't the bats answer Eliot? They did not hear his question, for example, and we'll go and answer these questions. And now these questions are designed to enable children to think more widely for themselves, and to develop higher order thinking skills, and also to enable them to really demonstrate their ability to understand inference as much as basic comprehension. So here we've got some deeper thinking questions here. So what strange thing happened as I walked further? And which of these things did he not see? There are lots of different questions that we could answer there. This book is a higher level of complexity, so that means there are more questions to answer for this particular book. And I didn't do particularly very well. I think I should have read that book, but here I'm going to read more books. And what is really interesting is I can then go into the statistics button on the left hand side here, where I can see reading time of my students over time, and I can see what are the most popular types of categories of books that are being read by my students in the class. But I can also see over time the class comprehension, how good my students are at these different areas of comprehension. And you'll see this bar chart build with a real site with your students inside. As they answer these questions at the end of the quizzes, they will be able to, you will be able to see their level of ability to explain, infer, retrieve information from the text, put things in order through the sequencing, enable them to deliver a summary, and to develop their vocabulary as well. So this chart will build you a really comprehensive picture of your students and your whole class's understanding of text, as well as, if I look at specific students, I can see straight away the books that they've read. So this is a great opportunity. I can see whether my students have actually been reading the books. It will tell you the reading history for every single student, and it'll tell you the level that the students have been reading at. It'll tell you when they read it, the date and the time. So you'll be able to tell if they've been reading it on the bus on the way to school or over the weekend, and you'll be able to determine some interesting facts about your students' reading habits, when they like to read or when they get the opportunity to read, how long they've spent reading over time, and whether they actually finished the whole book or not. Now, if they finished the book or skipped it and they went to the end, they will still be able to answer the quiz, and you'll see the quiz results here, which will feed into the comprehension check. And you'll also see the comments as well, whether they like the book, and the comments as well. So there's a great deal of statistics for you to be able to see what your children are doing with their books. Now, when you get your log on, teachers, you will be able to see some really useful information about the students' average reading stage, their reading time, how many books that they've read, the number of quizzes that have been completed, the average quiz score, and the average number of words they're reading per minute. And you can do that over time, so you can select any week that you want and be able to then see the data for that week. You'll also be able to export that data. So if you want to have that downloaded, maybe print that out so that when you're conducting a chat with a parent, if you get to meet the parents once or twice a year, you'll then be able to get that data down and share that with the parents to say, this is your reading progress for your child, and this is what would happen just by pressing the export button. You'll get the Excel spreadsheet to do that. The class login details are very useful as well, because here you'll see the usernames and passwords for students. This is just one student I'm showing you here. That's George, that's his username, and that's his password. Very simple, very easy to recognize. And sometimes we do a login system that's linked to a school, such as a Google login or a Microsoft login, or another type of big system login as well, but more about that in the future. Okay, here is, now that you've seen how to find the books, I'm just going to show you how to assign the books as well. So if I look at Discover Books, for example, and by the way, I should show you here, our books are not just our own books. What you're seeing inside Pickatale, those thousands of books, not just are from Pickatale, they're not just our own originals with all the different stages of reading. Every single book in the platform will have the read aloud. You'll have the karaoke text as well, so the children will be able to listen along to the story. But we have stories from publishing partners as well, including people like Oxford University Press, Biff, Chip and Kipper, and all those kind of wonderful things. A company called Exist, and here we've got stories, we've got books that explain facts about life, about animals, about things of the world around us. We've also got Bearport Publishing, which is a more international theme about people from around the world, common issues that are affecting the world around us as well. So we have an environmental impact and awareness selection of books. And we've got STEM books as well from people like Arcturus Publishing. Further to that, we've got Cricket. I love Cricket. Cricket publishers have some fantastic books. They're great illustrations, but they also celebrate some traditional tales. And what we would really like to be able to do, and we can do this very, very quickly now, is find local publishers, books that are dear to the hearts of all of you teachers here, from publishers in Malaysia, and to be able to support them by having their titles available for reading within Pickatale as well. So back to the books. I'm going to go to this Discover Bugs book by Discover Reading Company, and I'm going to assign that to students. If I want specific students to definitely read that book, what will happen is I'm looking at my class here. There's only one student in the class. I could select all students or just select 1 or 2 students. And if I select George, I'll save that change. Now that means, yep, it's selected students have been assigned. That means now, whenever George comes to Pickatale, he might be even in it straight away on his own device, perhaps. But as soon as I've assigned that book to George, he will see that in his assigned list of books, so that he can find that book immediately at the top of the list of his books available to him, and he'll be able to then read that book straight away. So if there are any questions, please do feel free to ask those in the chat right now. The next thing that I would...
There are, I think, Encik Mohammed Syed has a question. He has his hand raised. Does anybody have their hand raised right now who would like to talk, who would like to ask a question in true voice? All right, that's okay. If you have any more questions, you can ask through the chat. All right,
Yeah,
sorry, carry on.
do feel free to pop them on the chat. I love it when people ask questions, and there is absolutely no problem about asking some really simple ones as well. It's so much easier to answer those than it is the complex ones. What I would like to do whilst you're having a think about any questions that you've got is I'd like to share with you now how to create a book. I'm going to take the bold step of doing this live, and I'm going to show you this magic button. I love this button here on the left hand side of being able to be creative and make a story. Now, so the great thing about Pickatale here is that we've got the ability as a teacher, remember this is a teacher tool, to be able to create a book. And we'll start this process in a second. This means that you will be able to create a book about anything you want. It's going to be AI created. We're going to provide the prompts by describing what the book is about. And then the book will be created. We can write the book about anything we want. Now, here's the challenge. First person to put what they would like to write a book about. For this purpose, I would like you to suggest some non-fiction, so some facts, maybe choose an animal or something like that. If you want to type down a suggestion of a book that I should create, let's make this happen live straight away. Please put that on the chat, and Ivan, tell me what the first person comes up with, and tell me who it is as well. That would be wonderful.
All right, we have a suggestion about hornbills, a bird.
Hornbills. Whoever, Ivan, please mention whoever that was and say thank you. Now, I've got the opportunity to do this in multiple languages. I'm going to choose English first, but what I can do is choose the reading level between age 6 to 7, 8 to 10, or 11 to 12. I'll just put it at this level. And because I've now got the opportunity to start thinking about the style of the book, I can choose from a number of different image types to use for this book. And let's try this, for example. We'll try that image style. We could choose all kinds of different, well, maybe that style's pretty good. But let's go to the next step. And it's very simple. Just follow the steps. Follow the steps as we go through. What's happening in the background is we are using many different AI engines to help build this book. We've employed probably in the region of about 3 or 4 different AI, even more than that, probably closer to 8 different AI engines in order to be able to create this book. What we also need to do is select a voice, a type of voice that we want to use for the book. when I play, I will listen to these different voice types. They'll have different accents. They'll speak in male or female voices, and they will have a different rate of speaking as well. So you'll be able to listen and test the books, the book readers, and then just go to the next step. And now this is being generated at the moment. And pretty much straight away, it starts building this story. So what's happening is that right now, this book is being put together. And here you have the story. You can see all these pages being built. So it puts the text on the page. But guess what? I have the ability to move the text around the page. I then have the ability to edit the text. I could change the style of writing. I can change the text size as well if I wish. But also, I've got the ability to change the background image. When I created this book, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share this tab. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen a minute. I will not disappear, but I'm going to just share my tab so that you can actually hear this book speaking. So here is that tab. Ivan, can you still see the tab properly again?
I can't see it right now. Oh, it's about to pop up. And there we go. All right, we see the tab.
Okay, the reason why I've done that is because what I want to do, and you can see it scrolling, yes?
Yep.
Yep, lovely. Okay. The reason why I wanted to just stop and start it was so that you could actually hear the audio at the end of once I've done this. So because I put a book description, I put a very loose description around this. I didn't give much of a title to it at all. It's just created a story for me. If I want to, I can go and edit the images. I could either change the voice, change the background image, add a book description to it, or change the cover image. So if I edit the background image, you will see for this particular page, it's written one particular AI prompt as the description of this page. So this means that not only can I write a book in seconds, I can then take my time to change features about every single page of the book until I get it right. So I could come in here and say, or maybe, for example, I could say vibrant red foliage, and then regenerate the image. And what it'll do is it'll go away and start to then change that so that we've got a red background instead of a green one. So there we go. We've updated it and we've got a red background instead. Now I'm happy with the book. Might not be, but for the sake of time, I'll carry on with this. We'll go to the next steps. So now it's packaging that book together. Oops. Now this is what I thought, because I knew that this was going to happen. Typically, when you're trying to demonstrate live books, you get a problem with a book being created. So what I'm going to do is go to my library and I'll just have a look at this book. Nope, I'll log back out. I'm going to log in again, go back to my original account, and we'll do this. Oh dear, what's happened here? Okay, so here is an example book that I made earlier. And you'll see, for example, that it is a book about Costa Rica. This is an example. I'm going to share another example with you in just a minute, but this is an AI generated book. So there you see the book being read, you hear the audio.
Oh, sorry, Alistair, we're still on your Costa Rica tab because it opened a new tab when you opened the book.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're hopefully seeing the Costa Rica tab now.
You.
Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a small country in Central America, bordered by Nicaragua to the north and Panama to the south. It is known for its rich biodiversity and stunning landscapes. The capital city is San Jose, which is located in the central part of the country.
I hope that was clearly audio for you.
We could hear that.
Fabulous.
Costa Rica is famous for its rainforests, which are home to an incredible array of wildlife.
Okay, so this book is one that I generated this last week, and I'm just using this for reference and for speed at the moment. That book is being read by an AI voice. It's chosen that AI voice because I clicked on a particular person in the select your audio, select your speaker, and is also playing this book with this text complexity because I chose a higher level of text complexity. When you have your logons to using Pickatale, not only will you be able to create these books yourselves, but you could have a conversation in the class with your students about what kind of books they would like to see too. Now, my own daughter uses Pickatale in her class at school, and her class teacher finds this an incredibly useful tool. Why? Because he knows he can create a book instantly for any purpose for a specific child in his class, either as an opportunity to encourage that child or the whole class to read around a topic that he is going to start the next few lessons about, or he knows that there is a particular way of engaging one or two students with reading by perhaps introducing a fun element or something that they are interested in whilst they're doing so. So it might be a book about a maths topic, for example, and he might want to create a book with a footballer talking about or describing some maths problems, addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. Our platform will enable every teacher to be able to create books for the specific needs of their children in their class. Once you've got your book created, you're then able to, I'm sorry, it keeps on doing this to me with that particular
Alistair.
account. Yes.
Alistair, I'm sorry to interrupt. We have a raise of hand by Mr. Muhammad Shahid. You still have a question pending? Muhammad Shahid. No. Okay, I guess we have one question from the chat box. Does the school need to purchase the full version of the app?
What we're giving you is completely free access for the period. So during that time, you will have access to not only the reading through all of the books, but you will also have the ability to create a number of books for yourselves as well. So you'll have full access. There's not going to be any cost right now for you to be able to do this with your students. Keith, if you've got any further comment on that, I'm very happy for you to add in.
Yeah, actually, we will allow full access. The main purpose is to make sure that the school has the full experience of creating the books with their students. So the access for the thing at all. All right, that's the arrangement we made with Pickatale and Alistair. Thank you so much for your board of directors to approve this, to support the Johor Education State Department to have full access without paying anything during this trial period.
Okay, I'm also going to show you something I recorded whilst I was at the Kale Book Fair with Keith not so long ago, although it does seem quite a lifetime ago now. This is a screen recording that I did whilst I was there, and you'll see how the book,
faith and kindness.
how the books
Aisha
get
is a little
created.
girl who lives in London. She is excited because it's her first Ramadan.
What was really interesting was when we created this book in a live environment, we had the choice of doing something which was a fiction or non-fiction, but we actually wanted to do something that was related to the culture and the heritage. And so to celebrate the culture, we made this book, and it was received really well by the team that was there. Now, one thing that I haven't shown you yet, and I think I might be running out of time, what I wanted you to know is that it is entirely possible, when you've created a book, to choose another language for it to be translated into. You can select whether it's English or any other language. There is one slight challenge, and the reason why I've not done that for you today is because it's currently not available in Malay, because we haven't found the best AI engine for us to translate into Malay. It does do it in Indonesian, so we're close, but not quite close enough yet, but we're working on it. And what I want you to know is that not only will it change the text into Indonesian, but it will read it in Indonesian as well. So I hope that once we've got the Malaysian version sorted and we've got the translation working very well, we will then be able to let you all know, and you'll all be able to then be able to create books in Malay as well as English. Okay, so I've taken you through what Pickatale is. I've shown you the library of books. I've shown you how you can find books by different categories and then search for books by keyword if you wanted to just type in the search box. I've shown you how to see what your students are reading, and I love being able to do that. I love being in a class and going, Ava, how was the book about Eliot? And it instantly sparks, oh, my teacher knows what I'm reading. I can then form a much deeper dialogue instantly with my child in the class, if I've got a moment to do so, about the books that they're reading. Or I can go to Eli and say, Eli, you haven't picked a book up for a week. What's going on? And you might know a little bit more about what's going on in Eli's life. Great question from Elaine. That's a really great question that's just popped up from Elaine on the chat there. Can we download the books? Yes, you can. The book is downloadable. You can take it down. It comes down as an EPUB. So that means it can be read by, I'm glad you like that. It can be read by anybody offline. And it'll come down as an EPUB. You will need to find, there's plenty of EPUB readers out there though that are free. Not only will it be a downloadable EPUB, but it'll be audio as well. So you'll be able to listen to that book digitally as well as just read the pages. Obviously, if you print it out, you're going to have to just read it by hand. I can't believe I just said that. But there you go. Mohammed has a question. He's raised, Mohammed, you just raised your hand. Let me just have a quick look through any questions here. There's a question about trial period. I'll hand that over to Keith for answering that. The question is,
for the trial period, actually, we will offer full access for 1 whole month. And after that, especially for the state of Johor, I think there will be a contest. Tuan Hilmi was sharing that there will be a contest, and UBS will be sponsoring prizes for the most creative book that has been created. So Johor will be the first state to ever do this, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting because we will look at the creativity of each student. I mean, it could be done as a class or an individual students with the guidance of the teachers. And all book creation will be monitored because we want the teacher to actually lead in the creation of the books, because we don't want the students to create anything they want. Sometimes the topic or the books created by the students may not be so appropriate. So the teachers will have full control and full power on the creation with the students, so that when the books comes, it's been produced, you can fine tune. As I said, the AI will actually adjust the images, the text, and so on and so forth. So we are actually looking forward to all kinds of creative books. It will be pretty awesome and exciting to look at the end results of the books that's going to be created. And we will have a judging panel to pick the best books, and we're going to give you prizes.
Okay. Dear teachers, I know what has just happened is a lot of information has just been thrown at you about Pickatale. It's a really easy, simple platform to use and pick up. Once you've logged in, I know you're going to like it, because it's just easy access to a number of books that you may or may not have seen before, and it will extend the vocabulary of your children. It'll give them an opportunity to read at any time. In order to get going with your children, though, we recognize it's important that parents are involved. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give UBSM to provide to you a number of things. A letter that you can send out to parents. Maybe we can get that translated into Bahasa Malay or into Chinese or Tamil, so that we can support your parents at home, so that they can get behind the reading progress as well. Certificates. We've got some certificates that you can print out and give to children. One of the things that I really like is you might find a way of engaging children in reading in the classroom is by, if you've got the chance to make a chart or something like that in the classroom of, you know, your top 3 or top 5 readers or something. The stats inside Pickatale will tell you for the week who your top readers are. You could choose by number of books, you could choose by the number of minutes read, or you could choose by the number of questions answered correctly in the quizzes at the end of the books. But your children will love to see a chart which shows their name or a character that represents them on a chart moving up as they read. Not only does it give them the confidence to go and read more, but it'll encourage other people to participate too. I don't like doing it in the classroom. I like doing that in a corridor somewhere that's public in the school that lots of other children can see. Why? Because there's no better way to celebrate reading achievement than one child turning around to another child in the corridor and going, "Why is that there?" And another child will be able to explain, "We're taking part in a reading contest." And that encourages other children to take part as well. So we've got different reading challenges that you can take part in, some resources to support reading. There are worksheets as well for children to be handed out if you want to get worksheets for children to complete, so printable worksheets. There's guidance for book stages as well, and there are some video tutorials. So back to stop sharing my screen a second. I fully recognize, dear
Alistair?
teachers. Yes.
We got questions. So as far now, how many Asian languages are available to be generated?
Over 20. Let me just
Over
count.
20
Let me just read.
languages.
Bulgarian, Czech,
Does it
Danish,
include
German, Greek,
Mandarin and Japanese?
Indonesian, French, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Norwegian, Dutch, Polish, Brazilian, Portuguese, Romanian, Slovakian, Swedish, Turkish, Ukrainian, Chinese. Yes, so that's the list. Yeah, over 20. Quite a lot.
Okay, another question from one Shadiawati. She asked about whether the students can log in using their Delima email. But I believe I myself registered using, I myself registered using my Delima email.
Okay, you can use your yes, you can absolutely use that email in the future. You know, pending conversations with the Department for Education, of course. You know, an opportunity to make it even easier to log in via Delima would be absolutely wonderful. But feel free to use your Delima email. That's absolutely fine. It's just an email address to register. Now, one
Great.
last thing. I've not run this past Keith, but I'm going to say it anyway. I get shot afterwards, but never mind. Dear teachers, you've seen a lot of information here, and you're going to want to get started probably quite quickly, and you're going to have more questions. So what I'm going to suggest is, if you would like to have another run through session of using Pickatale, I'm going to ask Keith and Ivan really nicely, please, could you organize a more hands-on session with groups of teachers? Maybe we do 1 or 2 further webinars, just so that once teachers have got their logons, once they've registered, and we're at the point of getting going, we'll have another session together and to walk through the platform more slowly, so that you can get to grips with it very, very quickly. I hope that's okay.
I think that is possible, because the thing is that we arranged this presentation at short notice, actually, just 2 days notice, and we have that many teachers coming in. And in fact, the headquarters is very excited. In fact, they wanted to share to the whole nation for 14 states rather than just this one state alone. So definitely we'll do another session. But the thing is that probably the other option is that, because not every teacher can be free at a certain time. They may be teaching a class during this specific time. So we will need to record the session, or for the matter, you may actually want to do a video step by step on onboarding, what can we do as such, because time is limited, because there's not that much time as such, and we can share the video recording to everybody. We'll definitely do a nationwide a nationwide demo for the whole country, not just Johor alone, soon, with ELTC in involvement. But for now, this session is mainly to onboard the 30 over schools that attended our workshop the other day. So that 30 over schools will definitely be running it already, and they'll be running the contest. And also to everybody who is attending today's session, if you want to join the contest, we'll set up the account for you immediately, so that you can join the contest as well. All right. So we don't mind doing even more sessions, because there's a lot of interest. As long as there's a demand, there's a need, we'll do that. All right. And if you are coming to Malaysia, we'll send you down to Johor to do in stadium. Just joking. So Encik Hilmi, okay, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Keith, just for your information, Jalpa also would like to involve the Johor English Teaching Language Association.
Sure.
They already find sponsors and venues so that we can have a face-to-face session. Maybe we can have a team come down to Johor and have a live session with the participants. But Mr. Ermi have to handpick the participants so that they are available and can join a face-to-face session. We can offer to everyone, of course, but we'll see how JPN Johor will select the participants if it will be materialized shortly in September. We will have a further discussion on that, and
sure.
Okay, let you finish the session first, and I'll go through about the competition later.
Okay. Continue, Alistair.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I would like, there's some questions here about, thank you so much for that kind explanation, Noliza. Project-based learning. I love these ideas that are coming in about how you could be using Pickatale with your students. That's absolutely fabulous. Project-based learning is a great opportunity for using books that you can be creating, or even just read some of the fantastic books that are in Pickatale as well, because there are some great project-based learning type books from STEM, STEAM, across the selection. I cannot do the platform justice by showing you the books right now. As somebody here so very rightly said, you need hands-on practice. Devendran, that's absolutely right. And we want to give you that hands-on practice for yourselves to do this. So it would be a pleasure to be able to do this either in person or another webinar or two, to give you the support that you need to make sure that you get the best start possible with your students. And then maybe we can do another one, a follow-up session in a few weeks' time to say, this is how you look at your statistics. Let's look at one of your class's statistics and then perhaps think about how you can use the information, use the data that's being recorded in Pickatale about your students to support maybe an intervention strategy for students. And it doesn't have to be, you know, English language. It could be an intervention strategy for the projects that you're working on. So really good opportunities for us to work with you on developing your confidence and abilities using Pickatale. Don't forget though, download the app. Encourage, I mean, the parent letter that we'll share with you as well, the parent letter will show you how to download the app. It's available for free for download. You do need the logons, so you can't actually use Pickatale until you've got the logons. So it's most important. And at that point, I'm probably going to just pass you over to Ivan, who will explain what's going to happen next.
All right, thank you so much, Alistair. Okay, so right now we just have speech from the Penara of ELTC, and at the end of the speech, I will share the forms, and I'll pass the time back to Cikgu Hilmi while I send out the forms. So let me just share my screen real quick. Ooh, okay. All right, everyone can see it? Okay.
We can't see your screen right now. I just see a big eye.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let me try that again. Share. Yeah. Hold on.
Yup, we can see the screen. Can play the
Okay.
video now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and dear participants, it is with great joy and excitement that I welcome you to today's workshop, Pickatale from Reader to Creator. This event, organized by JPN Johor, represents a significant milestone in our collective journey towards enhancing English language education for our students. It is heartening to see so many passionate educators and coordinators gathered here today, all united by a common interest or purpose to inspire and empower the next generation of English learners. Our gathering today, although virtual, brings together an impressive 500 HIP coordinators and English language teachers from various parts of the region. This turnout is a powerful testament to the dedication and commitment each of you brings to the field of education. Your presence here signals a shared belief in the transformative power of innovative teaching methods and the potential of digital platforms like Pickatale to revolutionize the way we engage our students in learning. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to our collaborative partners who have played an instrumental role in making this workshop a reality, to UBSM and Pickatale UK. Thank you for your invaluable support and for providing us with the tools and resources that will undoubtedly elevate the learning experience for both teachers and students. Your partnership is not just appreciated, It is essential to the success of our collective mission. A special note of thanks also goes to SK Taman Tun Aminah Johor Bahru for their active involvement and unwavering commitment to this initiative. Your contributions are greatly valued and have set a strong foundation for the success of this workshop. Today's workshop is centered around a series of ambitious and forward-thinking objectives. We will explore how digital reading platforms, particularly Pickatale, can be leveraged to create an engaging and interactive learning environment. Through this platform, we aim to bring stories to life, making reading a more immersive and dynamic experience for our students. Our goals include promoting a virtually immersive English environment, fostering a robust support network for English language learning, and integrating the latest advancements in generative AI into storybook publication. These efforts are all geared towards diversifying the implementation strategies of the highly immersive program or HIP in our schools. As educators, we understand the importance of keeping pace with the evolving educational landscape. The tools and the strategies we explore today are not just about keeping up, they are about leading the way. By embracing these innovations, we are setting the stage for our students to not only read, but to engage, interact, and ultimately create their own narratives. We are empowering them to be active participants in their learning journeys. As we move through today's sessions, I encourage you all to engage actively, share your experiences, and be open to new ideas. This workshop is not just a learning opportunity, it is a collaborative space where we can all contribute to the collective wisdom that will drive our educational practices forward. In closing, I want to reiterate my sincere thanks to all our collaborators and stakeholders. Your dedication and support are what make initiatives like this possible. To all the participants, thank you for your unwavering commitment to your students and for being here today. Together, we have the power to make a lasting impact on future of the English education. Let's seize this opportunity to learn and innovate and to inspire. I wish all a productive, insightful, and inspiring workshop. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to the Panara of ELTC for sending that speech. I'll pass the time back to Hilmi or Ermi to close the session.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. So first of all, I would like to thank Alistair for the wonderful and very sharp and clear explanation on how Pickatales work and how it will inspire our teachers to use Pickatale and for the benefit for our students especially. And also thank to Mr. Kitong, the director of UBSM, for making this session possible with short notice, as he twice mentioned it in our session. It's a very short notice actually, and also short notice for Alistair as well, and all the team from SK Tun Aminah also. We have set up a very interesting competition for all the participants today that I think to share it, what we call the competition in details, it will take a lot of time. So what I'll do is we will collect your details from our forms. Ivan will share the forms. I think it's okay for you to share the forms now and fill up the form. We get the details from your emails or phone number, we will shout out the invitation and along with the link to the competition details. So I think that we'll use less time, but as a general overview, the competition will be focusing on how the book will be published using Pickatale, and you send us the link of the book, and we will what we call do a session of judging, as mentioned by Keith just now, and all the schools that involve or onboard the competition, we will create another maybe a Telegram group so that we can share whatever is happening during the session of competition. So I think that will be better because due to time constraint and it's about 4 already. So yes, I think that is all from us, from SK Tonamina, who will organize the competition, and hopefully those who are here today take the opportunity because Keith are sponsoring the gift and the presents. So thank you very much again to UBSM and also Pickatale to provide us a platform, a very fantastic platform for us to work on. Project-based learning can be carried out to our students, and we will take this opportunity by doing as much as we can with the free access to the platform by Pickatale. So again, any last word from Keith or Mr. Ermi?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hilmi. I hope this is not the last resort we can share this kind of thing with all the teachers in Johor. I believe that we are going to have follow up and follow through with UBS and Pickatale. Maybe we can fly Mr. Alistair all the way from UK to Malaysia, especially in Johor Bahru, to impart our teachers with this knowledge. Actually, I'm planning to have a physical session, but not the teachers who are in this Google Meet. Maybe we can open to other teachers to have opportunity to learn this as well. Right. So further discussion later. Right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Helmi.
Okay, guys, just a little bit of update. Actually, we have been working with JPN and especially with Tuan Hermes department for many years. In fact, what we are doing is that we are actually trying to bridge the rich and the poor by using technology. Now, we supply all the international schools in Malaysia. They have a lot of stuff, a lot of good things, the latest that has been released in the world they have. So what we do is that we will constantly be sharing and getting publishers to open up platforms to let our teachers experience and explore what the international schools are doing. And through our workshop, right, we actually ask for a pupkan suara or permintaan hati or what you actually want. And the number one request in our previous workshop is to have Pickatale to be given access to all Johor schools because they want to create, they want something new, they want something creative to bring the interest of reading all over again with the students. And one of the facts that we find out is that when people find that I am going to be the character in the book, I will be the hero of the book, I'm going to be involved in the book, then there is renewed interest in reading as well as catering to the mixed achievement ability of the student, or we call it a differentiated classroom. So this will be a great thing. So make sure you fill in the forms. Once you fill in the forms, right, we'll grant you access almost immediately. Hopefully, everybody will be given access by this week already. In fact, the 40 participants that have registered earlier, all of them already got access. So you can do that almost instantly. By this week, you'll get access. And any other further requests, the State Education Department through Tuan Elmi will let us know and be more than happy to serve with you guys. All right. I hope you enjoyed the session. Anything from you, Alistair?
I've done enough talking. No, it's an absolute pleasure. I've tried to answer everybody in turn that has said thank you, but I can't possibly do that with 300 people on this call. So thank you so much. And I'm sorry if I haven't had an opportunity to reply to you in person. It really matters to me loads that you're interested in taking part in this. And I really hope that all of you get an opportunity to do this. As I've mentioned, please, if you're on the way out of the door right now, that's fine, but make sure that you get a copy of that link so that you can fill in that form later. And I look forward to working with you soon on making sure that we get this in your class with your students.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Tuan Helmi, this session is being recorded, right? We can share the video for this recorded session on the Telegram group when you're going to create later, right?
Yes. We will
Thank
send
you,
it through email invitations. I saw
All
Mr.
right,
Aslam
thank you.
just now. Can Mr. Aslam wave your hand?
Prof. Aslam, you want to say a few words, Prof. Aslam?
Our handsome Prof. Aslam is here. Very happy to see you.
Hello. Yeah. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening all the way from Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. It's nice to see all of you again. Alistair in UK. We have Hilmi. Okay. And Keith there, always supporting JPN Johor. And basically you can see that whatever has been presented now has to be realized. You see, UBSM under Keith or Alistair from Pickatale, they can do 1,001 workshops for you. They can do it. I have faith in them. But the most important thing is whether the teachers are able to change the mindset and able to embrace this development in technology for English language education. So we have to understand that whether you like it or not, there are two things. Okay, yes, technology will never ever replace a teacher, but a teacher with technology will replace a teacher without technology. So the idea here is that, yeah, the narrative is that teachers, let's embrace AI, technology, and utilize it in context according to the needs of your learners. As long as you have embraced it according to the needs of your learners, well, you have done your best in teaching English language to all your students. So I think I'm not going to talk so much. I'm just here as an observer, invited by Mr. Keith Thong, a friend for many, many years, and also a person who believes that education will change lives and make a difference. That's why we are here together. All right? We want to change lives and then make a difference to the teachers, to the students in Johor specifically, but not necessary. It can be in general throughout the whole country. So Keith, thank you for inviting. Thank you for giving me that few minutes to say something. And Alistair, all the way in UK. And of course, I know Hilmi and some others who are my ex-students in teacher education campuses. I wish you all the best. Maybe Keith, one day I will travel down to Johor and conduct a workshop together with UBSM for the state of Johor. So thank you very much. All the best. And remember, embrace AI, embrace technology. That's the future of English language education. Thank you. And Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Prof. Aslam. Prof. Aslam, just for everybody's information, Prof. Aslam and I, we are actually the panel judges for the BET show, the British Education, Technology and Training Show, which is the world's largest education technology event held in London every year. But this year, in October, the BET Asia will be held in Mandarin Oriental in Kuala Lumpur. And both of us serve as a panel for all the awards judging panel for all the awards. So and Prof Aslam also does a lot of lectures and training. Tuan Hilmi, we should get Prof Aslam to do the human beat, the heartbeat. That he's best. Teacher motivation, teacher feeling low, mental well-being and all these kinds. Prof Aslam will do a good job. In Indonesia, right, every time he does a presentation, all the young ladies will cry, yeah, Prof Aslam, don't go. We should have him come and do a training session. And also the good part is Prof Aslam can actually customize the training, especially from an Islamic perspective, being an Islamic country. It matters a lot to have God involved in whatever we do every day of our life. All right. Tuan Helmi, over to you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thanks again for your word of wisdom, Mr. Aslam. Now it's Professor Aslam already. We met in our various projects before, and happy to see you again, sir. Thank you for supporting us. And also, again, to everyone who being a very amazing participants for today's workshop. Alistair from Pickatale, very supporting and very generous enough to give us free accounts for the teachers in Johor to use and make use of Pickatale in their classroom, and also support our competition as well. Kitong and the team, Ivan, for making this workshop possible. And I can't thank enough everyone, Mr. Ermi especially, who working very hard in making sure everything is needed, provided for this workshop. So again, thank you everyone. Before we go, I think we should take a group photo and then we end here. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, somebody take a group photo. Yeah, I'm going to unpin everybody. Then those who can on your camera, please on your camera so that we can look at your beautiful face. Okay. Okay, Tuan Hilmi, go ahead, shoot the photo.
Okay, Ivan, my screen can only show like a limited numbers. How about your screen?
I don't know how to show.
Oh, mine only can show 9, 12.
Yeah, I think the chief admin, whether Tuan Hilmi can shoot a photo for everyone.
Actually, I have set my screen to the maximum, but I think let's see.
How many?
Okay.
A big smile, everyone.
All right. Okay, I'll try first. Okay,
Yep.
ready. Okay, done. One more.
Freestyle, freestyle. Okay, everyone. Hopefully, it will be a very fruitful session to you, and hope to see you again in the future.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a safe journey to the restaurant nearby.
Okay.
Macam muka asap sikit kan. Okey.
You're most welcome in here.
So Alistair, what we do is that we'll share the recording with everyone, and Ivan will compile all the participants and record. Once we have done that, we'll set up access for everybody as soon as possible. I'm sure the price is going to be attractive because it'll be a few $100 per prize, which we're going to give away. It'll be like the collector's item of the Times volumes, as well as the the Times Atlas, so the price is going to be very attractive. So those people who join will be the winners will be given a prize, and I try to give as many prizes as possible to Hilmi's and Tuan Hilmi's department to encourage them. And sometimes if they have a team of students joining in, right, it will be very encouraging for the students, and we make them heroes so that they feel good, and they will be ambassadors of education to everybody. So we will support 100%. We'll give whatever support we can to the people and the teachers, and make every teacher a hero as well. All right.
Wonderful. Really good. I like the plan. Okay, right. I'm gonna love you and leave you all, and
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
Me too. We gotta
seeing
go.
you all again soon.
All right.
Bye for now.
See you guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.